The records are now open. Come on in, everybody. Welcome to Akashic Answers with Emily. Let the sound of this crystal bowl begin to open up your crown chakra. This one is calibrated to the crown chakra, so you will begin to feel an opening of the crown, which is where we assimilate cosmic information, where we process our relationship with God. And that is exactly what we are going to get down to business to here today. Processing our relationship with God. Because when I use that terminology, it's interesting. I mean, that's really what we're doing here as humans. We are experiencing, or part of the invitation when we incarnate here on the earth planet is to begin to experience ourselves as God, goddess, as creator beings. And so our relationship to our concept of God, what our collective concept of God is, to our relationship to ourselves, all great things to talk about today. And I've been on less than a minute and a half and I pissed somebody off. I see the mad face up there. Welcome everybody to Akashic Answers with Emily. Please say hello once you get here. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from, because I love, hi Brian Cable, so happy to see you. Hi Julie, glad you're here. Because I'll say hi to you once you say hi to me. And I think it's beautiful as well to, hi Michael, begin to envision the pinpoints of light across the planet where we are beginning to connect these grids of consciousness. It just adds an extra layer to the potency of the work that we do here. Okay, when we bring awareness to the grid and where this information of this consciousness is flowing, we begin to blanket our planet, ourselves, and each other inside of this beautiful space of love and healing, which is what our divinity is. This is how we're designed to be. We're designed to take care of each other here. Jody and Winston and Tracy and Nirma and Graceful Bird, I see you all here. I'm going to invite you all to share out as well. Australia in the house. Australia, obviously going through a tremendous amount right now. However, you know, Australia is where Uluru is where we have the sacral chakra of the planet. And actually, I'm sorry, Uluru is solar plexus, isn't it? The solar plexus of the planet. And it, to me, makes sense that the people who are in that place on the planet would experience an oppression, which creates an opportunity to rise up into our power. Very special opportunities are rising in Australia right now. How many people have you ever heard say that? In this day and age, in this, you know, last couple months of our day and age, how many people you heard say that? It's an opportunity in Australia, but it really is. It's an opportunity for empowerment. And the planetary energies in terms of our chakras are aligned and supportive for that work to be done in that location. So if you are a first timer, also let me know that you're a first timer. I do like to bring us all into the same sacred classroom together. So whether you're a first timer or not, I'm going to take just a moment to share about what the Akashic Records are, how we get to use them, and then we will let it rip. Okay? So the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information has been stored. Every detail of your past, your present, all possible futures. Yes, the future exists in infinite possibility, which means we always have wiggle room in our future. I was going to try to multitask here and share this out. Let's see if I can do it. I can't do it because I have to copy a link and then go put it on my own profile page. It takes too long. I was going to try to sneak it in, but I can't do it. Well, you guys please share this out for me. I will go back and share out after the broadcast, because the thing about the Akashic Records is every single human has the potentiality, I'll say, to tap into the records. It's not, I'll just leave it at that. We all have the potentiality to tap into the records, okay? We must learn to shift our consciousness into higher vibrational frequencies in order to do this. But every single human being on the planet has potentiality to access unlimited information through their Akashic Records. I have been shown by my guides, and this makes sense to me. I love symbology. I love metaphor, but they've showed me the symbolism of the Akashic Records being an infinite resource of intelligence. How this, once everybody starts tapping into the Akashic Records, we will redistribute wealth and how wealth works here on the planet. It's part of the abundance restructure. Nothing is off limits to you once you commit yourself to this work. And it's a beautiful connection to really how, I mean, when we think of like the redistribution of wealth, most of us think about finances, hardcore cash, currency, what allows us to move freely in exchange here on the planet. All of these paradigms are being challenged. They're shifting. What if we lived in a society where it was information that was traded? What if everybody had access to the same amount of resource and information? See how this begins to shift things? It begins to level hierarchy. So from this bigger perspective, I believe that it's every single one of our responsibilities to learn how to tap into the Akashic Records and how to use this on a regular basis. We got to do our job in the redistribution of wealth here on the planet, don't we? And who doesn't want to tap in to universal wisdom, soul level guidance? Who doesn't want at a moment's notice the ability to tap into the God, the goddess mind, and get information? So that's what we're going to use it for here today. I'm going to invite you all to begin to type in your questions, any question that you have. I see that Danielle is a first timer here. So Danielle, when you're thinking about questions, and everyone who's out here, when you're thinking about questions that you want to type in, think broad spectrum. Yes or no questions do not give us nearly enough opportunity to extract data. And when you have every bit of intelligence from a neutral perspective, I didn't actually hit on that this time around. The information is stored from a neutral perspective. So from the perspective of unconditional love and zero judgment. And when we have access to this, think big picture, ask those big questions. But I will give you a couple more pieces of advice to consider when you're framing these questions. And that is, we want to come to the records with the intention of being willing to course correct. So seeing how we're showing up and miscreating, which means you got to take a look at yourself and be willing to see what it is that you want to correct. A lot of people have a lot of resistance about seeing areas and opportunities for self-shift, which it just comes down to fear, and it comes down to not trusting that you're going to feel safe in change. How many of you guys know that your ability to manifest is directly related to your ability to receive change in your life? Your ability to be flexible in times of change, and to embrace change. How many of you just got that click? In order for me to be in a high level state of abundance, I'm going to have to be able to embrace some change in my life, because my life don't look so abundant right now. In whatever area. Maybe you don't have relationship abundance. Maybe you don't have health abundance. Maybe you don't have opportunity abundance. Maybe you don't have creative idea abundance. And so you watch too much Netflix. I don't know. But your ability to receive abundance is going to be directly related to your ability to embrace change, because you're going to need to create something different. Is that making sense? If that's making sense, send some love larks and hikes across the screen. Yes, I said send some love larks and hikes across the screen. Love hearts and likes is what I really meant across the screen. And I'm going to invite you to begin to type your questions in. So think in terms of being willing to course correct. What can I learn from XYZ? And a couple more pieces before we dive in. just posing your question, whether I am drawn to answer it and to address it on the air or not, doesn't really even matter. Just you posing the question, especially posing it here in this space, it's going to invite the answer for you. All you have to do is pay attention over the course of the next 24, 48 hours or so and see what comes alive in your field. I also want to say that if you feel that what I'm channeling is for you, even though it's not your question, I want you to receive it as a message for you, because there is transmission in the message. There is a quality of the vibration of the message that will not only, when you receive it into you, say, okay, I received that intelligence. There's not only the aha moment, but you'll also have an embodiment shift, because that's how I program my stuff. Because it's not enough just to know something. You will also notice that you have an urge to show up differently. That's your embodiment shift. Okay. And I want you guys to have a heads up on how it works. All right. I'm going to dive in. Actually, you got to give me one second here. I got to text my kid because you hear my smoke alarm chirping out there? Can you click the smoke alarm? Oh, you should see all these typos. Can you clock the smoke alarm? Click the smoke alarm. I'm in a show. I just heard my 18-year-old come in. Okay. You won't hear that in very much longer. He's going to come down and click it. All right. So I'm going to dive in and grab some questions for you. In addition to channeling through an answer, I will also bring through an active transmission that will also help with that embodiment. Okay. All right. Let's see. Winston, my relationship with God is the only relationship I can sustain. So to Danielle, first timer here with the Akashic Records. Okay, guys, get some questions up here for me. Okay. Norma says, I want to know that the man I met online and not met yet, I'm guessing in person, will be my partner for life. Oh, this is such a good question. Because it's a yes or no question, Norma, and this is going to give us an opportunity to look at the bigger picture here, okay? So let me just tap in and see what the guides want to share around this, around the person you met online. Okay, first of all, the guides want to talk about the nature of relationships on the planet right now, where so many of us are meeting online. Because once upon a time in the history of the planet, this did not happen. You had to meet in person first somewhere. You had to cross paths with someone in person first, right? Now we get to cross paths online, which what the guides are saying, it creates a really unique opportunity for, okay, work with me here. There is, it's like there's an increase in opportunity to fool each other, obviously, because you can, what's that word? You can catfish, right? But there's also an increased opportunity to connect in a really vulnerable way, which when humans connect in person, when they're first meeting, what the guides are saying is that the interaction, so imagine all of this energy in our field, in my field, okay? Imagine the energy in your field. When humans are interacting physically, the interaction of that energy looks a certain way. It follows certain patterns, okay? The guides are explaining this sort of scientifically for us. When we connect online, it's different, which creates a different synergy, a different combination of energies. And like I said, while this rawness that we get to experience can be expressed in a really high octave where people get to connect more deeply over the internet without the physical bouncing of shit in the field, and you go deep into emotional, spiritual, and you find deep connection quickly, right? When that same energy expresses in a lower octave, we can fool each other with it. We can catfish each other with it. So the guys just want to bring awareness to there are interesting things that go along with meeting, how we meet online. The guides are saying we will actually find or consider or think about partners that we meet online. We will more quickly think about them and plug them into a "is this my forever" scenario. And we can fairy talealize. How many syllables do I need in there to make that word up? Fairy talealize. Fantasize. We, without the physical interaction of energy, could also be translated into the physical, everyday, day-to-day pieces of life that we live together when we exist in physical relationships in person. A lot of that gets to not even get considered when we're in the online space. And it's really, really important that it does get considered, especially if you are talking about wanting to have a traditional style of marriage. I say traditional style of marriage because let me take that back, because our paradigms are changing. Traditional in the sense of two people living in the same house together. Okay? Structured that way, because the essence, the core of relationships are changing. The old paradigm looks like relationships that we're drawn together out of woundedness. The new paradigm looks like we're drawn together out of preference. Okay? But you still get to live together under the same roof if you so choose. And there is still going to be, it's like a new ball game when you have physical interaction underneath the same roof in the same field. That, Nirma, what I'm hearing is that until you experience what the physical interaction is, determining whether or not he is your partner for life, you probably don't want to do. And we want to keep our options open. We want to make sure that that's what we prefer. Okay? Because our souls are going to grow the most if we get really honest with ourselves and we put ourselves into a position and environment of preference. What our soul prefers to choose and to experience at this point in time. And remember how I said the future exists in infinite possibility? So there's undetermination about whether or not that would actually be the best partner for you at this time. Does that make sense for you guys? And let me know if that was helpful. Okay, let's see. What kind of activation do we want to bring in for? Okay. This idea of relationships, I talked a little bit about the old paradigm relationships, whether they're relationships with romantic relationships to God. We talked about those a little bit earlier today, or relationship to self. Okay. Regardless of what context you're putting this into, the paradigm is shifting. Just for a moment, can you see where this could be true for you? Where have you built a romantic relationship in the past on woundedness? Just let it come up in your field. Okay. Where have you built a relationship with God in the past based on woundedness? And where have you built a relationship with yourself based on woundedness? Many of you might still be cultivating a wounded relationship with yourself. If you engage in negative self-talk, you're engaging in a wounded relationship with yourself. So I feel like that's the energy that wants to come in right now, is really to support us as we're moving through this transition. Because there are a lot of pieces of awareness that go along with this. Like it starts out with awareness. Oh, okay, I get it. Then we move into the stage where we have to see how we're playing into that paradigm. And then we move into the stage of disillusion and creating new things. And it's all alchemy. Moving into these different stages, talking about stages of disillusion where things break down. And then we take the truth that we learn from that breakdown off the top and we bring it over here into our lab and we begin to work with the essence of the truth. It's alchemy. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to bring in the transmission. If anybody feels inclined to put their hand over their heart, I'm feeling like right hand is what feels alive for me. I'm just bringing through a transmission to ease us gracefully and beautifully into this new paradigm. of relationships. Breathing, everybody. Breathe deep. Imagine you're breathing with your heart space, okay? Good. Breathing with the heart. Good. Deep breath in. One more breath. Heart breath. Deep breath. Heart breath. We're activating our bodies, opening up our fields, allowing us to receive support and transmission more easily. Right on. All right, Jack obviously didn't get my message. Hey, are you home? Didn't get my message about shutting off the stinking alarm out there. Beautiful Amber says, change your statement. You just said everyone abandons you, so that's what the universe will give you. Yes. Oh, hey, look. We got some abundance flying in here on the show. Winston says, hey, I just want $100. That's always fun. That doesn't happen on every show. Or maybe it does, and I just don't know it, but we know about it today. Okay, Brandy says, have I found my soul destiny partner, reconnected with an old friend? We have so much chemistry and connection. Is this connection for my highest good at this time? Ooh, Brandy, I bet you got a lot of good juice out of the last one, because I feel like it was really, there were some synchronicities in the information that came up. But let me tap in for you here, Brandy, and see. Yes, the guides are saying this is a template that a lot of people are seeing and experiencing right now, is a reconnection with the childhood connection person. Lover doesn't go with childhood, does it? No, it does not. Absolutely inappropriate, Emily. Okay, your childhood buddies. Okay, however you want to put it. Okay. This is happening quite a bit. The guides are sharing with me right now. So beautiful. Thank you, Brandy, for this connection, because I hadn't understood or put this together quite the same way until now. But the guides are talking about the importance of this uprising in souls to find deep purpose and to find and understand and identify soul mission, which is how we show up and serve the planet. And many times our soul mission can be much more dynamically supported when we feel we're in this more aligned soul partnership relationship. And for the vast majority of people, we find clues to our soul mission in our childhood, whether you are conscious of it or not. From a vibrational frequency, you are emanating authenticity. And so what I'm hearing, Brandy, is that this reconnection of this childhood old friend, or I'm saying childhood friend. It does. I hear that you're not childhood, that you're just saying an old friend. It does also come up with childhood friends, just so everybody's clear on that pattern. Okay. But what's happening is we're returning to a particular point in our timeline where our vibrational frequency, there was some kind of expression that wanted to come out at that point in time, or that was very clear in our vibration, the essence of who we were. Now, as adults and older adults, as we get older and older, that essence of who we are, there's a need to express it a lot of times in some way. And as we grow up and we got to get jobs, we got to serve the planet, it's really beautiful. And I believe by divine design, when we can understand that expression of who we are and how we want to show up and serve society is our soul mission. That's our dream job. And it's so critical that those of us with a mission show up and execute on the planet right now. That, Brandy, I think there's a connection there. Not to diminish or not address, it being good for you personally or for the relation, for like a romantic relationship. But I see it with that intention isn't the right word. It's like part of the reason is to put you back into connection with your soul mission. That's a lot easier said. Does that make sense? Because I do feel there's a very deep soul connection there. Don't know if it's a forever connection. And here's the other thing is, obviously, future exists an infinite possibility. I've said that a couple of times. But we're also living multiple lifetimes and multiple timelines in one lifetime here. So if you move quickly through a timeline or a chapter or a part of your life that moves into completion, a new partner might support you better. So I think we have to be aware of that energy coming in during this time as well. Okay, the transmission that I feel the guides want to bring in for us now feels more like an opening of the mind that's going to allow us to bend ideas and examine ideas differently than we ever have before. Okay? Examining ideas differently. So if anybody wants to receive the examining ideas differently, just notice what you notice in your head right now as the energy's coming in. I feel like it's an Arcturian, from Arcturian light ships coming in. I'm hearing like noises and weird pressures in my ears. All right. Oh, what a good question. Lencino as well. I also wanted to comment that I see that you have some relationship questions coming in too, and I hope that you felt or were able to extract some wisdom around the other couple relationship questions that were coming up. Kevin, what is the avenue to continuous health regarding my nervous system? First of all, let me just honor you and deeply thank you for the vulnerability of just sharing something really personal like your health that's going on here, and letting us all have an opportunity to learn and to heal with you. That right in it there in and of itself says that you're very high level in your consciousness. And that's what I'm feeling instantly coming in, is that you're an incredibly high level being and your physical body is having difficulty holding all of that frequency and that bandwidth. So learning ways to increase your bandwidth and to calm your nervous system. It's got to be like a total relearning of your nervous system that you get to program and control, starting with the breath. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do and explore, but remember, the breath is something that you have with you at all times, and learning how to use the breath, exhaling longer than the inhale is going to activate your vagus nerve. Okay. Our vagus nerve is responsible for our not our piezoelectric nervous system. Hang on. We've got our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system. Sometimes I know too many big words and they just all get mixed up in there, okay? All right, so the vagus nerve is responsible for controlling your parasympathetic nervous system, and it will turn on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of fight or flight. It's the opposite of your sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is going to keep you in fight or flight, keep you in anxious mode a lot of the day. This is a collective you, by the way, not just specifically for Kevin. And the parasympathetic mode is going to allow you to surrender to more of your knowingness. More of your psychic and intuitive skills are going to be accessible to you through the parasympathetic, okay? So simply just exhaling longer than your inhale. Also, Kevin, the guides are saying building your ability to drop into parasympathetic nervous system and to control it and to cultivate it is really important, because there are a lot of it feels like a lot of things that need to be intuited to you. I'm using intuit as a verb. Intuition is your ability to know something instantly. So if you're being intuited, you're being downloaded. It's like being downloaded. Okay. And there There's a lot of intelligence there waiting for you. All right, so let's do an upgrade of our nervous system. Let's just all breathe here together today. Take a nice deep breath in, pausing at the top of the breath. That's where we're going to reset. My lungs are full. I'm pausing at the 0 resistance point. Relaxing into this. I was stiff for a second. Now I'm relaxing. Now exhale. Danielle says, try some lion's mane mushroom tincture. Deep breath in. I love that stuff, by the way. I don't have it in the tincture. I've had it in the coffee pouch of the 4 somatics before, but it's super yummy. Exhale longer than your inhale. Go one more nice deep breath in. If you're receiving this particular activation, let me know by typing yes. And this particular activation is going to allow you to stay in parasympathetic more often, allowing you to access more of your intuition more often. Nice slow release. So good. How many of you got something powerful out of this? Send some hikes across the screen. I can't even remember what I said earlier. What was it? It was funny. Send your hiker across the screen. People are tuning on just now. They're like, what is this? What is she saying? Thank you all so much for being here. Also, if this has served you, I invite you to share this out. The more of us that begin to tap into the field, the faster we restore these grids of resource and sharing resource and abundance with our planet. This is a very outside of the ordinary box, or outside of the ordinary definition or connotation of how you think it would look to redistribute abundance. But this is it. This is what it looks like. We've got to get innovative. We have to understand things differently. We have to say, aha, oh, it's not as hard as I thought. I just need to create new templates. For those of you who have not heard yet, our next immersion retreat is coming up. These are absolutely life-changing experiences where you get to work and train with me and a group of very high-level visionaries and master facilitators in the vortex locations on the planet. Bill Homan and the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull will be there. Again, for those of you who feel called, if you feel like the skull is calling you, if you feel like pilgrimage and quantum transformation in an extraordinary way is calling you, please reach out to me. We'll have a personal conversation about this one. This one's not necessarily right for everyone out there. But if you have a hunch or you're curious if it's right for you, reach out to me and we'll find out. Okay. I sure love you all so much. You can see this big grin on my face. I feel happy and high after I get to be with you. Just so expansive. I hope you're feeling it too. I hope you feel the uplift, and I invite you to take this uplift into the rest of your day. Share it with people. Transmission through the eyes, transmission through the heart, and I will see you back here again very soon. Namaste.